reading has always been something I do more for fun and as like a leisure activity more than anything, but it is also a really great way for me to improve my writing. You know, we only learn by seeing what other people are doing and by looking at examples, so I really love seeing what other authors are doing and maybe trying to exemplify that in my own work.
Reading to me is both comfort and like a form of entertainment, because I find that books have so much more detail than movies and TV shows do, and I know that cinema has its own like components that add more detail, like certain shots or like switching to certain scenes and music and all that, but I think words can really describe something in depth.
But nowadays, I like to read books not so much as a sort of escapism, but just to expand my intellectual point of views and to learn things. Though I do enjoy a really good, like, feel-good novel every now and then.
For me, when I'm buying books, I really like to get physical copies more. So usually I'll either get them from Barnes & Noble, or I really love supporting one of our local independent bookstores. It's called Mysterious Galaxy, because I just love the staff there and they're so great at picking out recommendations and hosting any book-related events.
Unless I'm anticipating a new release by like one of my favorite authors, I never really like to buy books new, and so I usually buy them from like second-hand stores, or if I just want to like experiment, then I'll try it from the library. And the reason why I prefer used books is because I feel like when you get like more of the worn pages and the annotations within them, I think it's really personal. So I like used books because I feel like they tell a story on the page, if that makes sense.
I'd have to say my favorite book of all time is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, because I just love all of the characters so much. They're all genuinely so complex and unique from the characters in any other book I've read before. I think the book has impacted my life in a way that's so positive, and I think one of the biggest parts is that like through that book I've been able to find so many people who share similar interests as me, and like even going out to the bookstore and seeing people pick up the same book, or like striking up a conversation with a random stranger out in public or something is always such a nice experience. And it's always cool to get to bond with someone over something that you love so much.
I recently read Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. It's a generational saga that follows a Korean family living in Japan, and the story centers around the historical racism that Koreans in Japan faced, and it explores really interesting topics like sexism, motherhood, poverty, ambition, and within like an East Asian setting, so it was super different from what anything else I've read. And I really enjoyed it because it just provided a really unfamiliar point of view. I mean, the Korean stories aren't really told throughout history and within Western literature, so I really appreciated the different point of view and the human struggles that Min Jin Lee portrays are so relatable and they're so emotional, and I found it to be a very like entertaining story as well as good like food for thought.
So I think that reading is just a form of entertainment for me. It's really interesting. I find it just as interesting as TV shows, but it just has that extra detail, that extra depth in it. And it's also a sense of comfort because I can read and feel like I'm in that world. I can feel like I'm with the characters. And so it's comforting to kind of have that escape from reality sometimes.